Hi there, welcome to kneppyinvests. Brainchip, what are your thoughts when I say that name? So there's going to be some people who get shivers up the spine because they believe this company, well, the sky is the limit. And a lot of investors I know have put their whole life savings into this company, which I think is crazy. On the other hand, there are some investors who see the name Brainchip and think the most overvalued company that has ever existed on the ASX. They always point out this is $1 billion market cap company, yet they have no revenue. Funny enough, I have heard some experts say that, yet those same experts always talking about how the market is forward looking. So you have to put that same context in regards to Brainchip. The market is forward looking in regards to this company. It's not looking at the revenue in the past and valuing the company off that. It's looking to the future. And when you talk about the future in regards to Brainchip, you are thinking sky is the limit. Bull case scenario for Brainchip is the most important company on the ASX, the most successful company on the ASX, the quickest growing company on the ASX, a sort of company you would expect to find on the Nasdaq, not on the ASX. That's the bull case. Of course, there is a bear case, and that bear case is crash and burn. There are some investors out there who have such high conviction in regards to Brainchip, they've put their life savings into that company. I don't have that sort of conviction in regards to this company. I have put a small amount, and the reasoning behind putting a small amount into Brainchip is if it does succeed in fulfilling their potential, then my holdings will grow quite a bit. I won't be able to retire off it, but that's okay. But if they do crash and burn, I won't lose that much. So I don't have high conviction, and I'm just, looking at the possible risks and the rewards potential and basing my holdings off that. It's all about probability. So before we look at the Appendix 4C, so the whole point of me doing this video is looking at their March quarter Appendix 4C, because this hopefully is the first Appendix 4C Brainchip video I'll do. Hopefully I'll do many more in the future, because this is the turnaround point in the company. They are transitioning from an R&D company to production and sales. So before we get to the Appendix 4C, just a few facts in regards to Brainchip. Brainchip have developed this neural networking processor, or a neuromorphic processor, called a KEDA, and this processor could be revolutionary. All these sort of processors, neuromorphic processors, could be revolutionary. So that's the main reason the market and I'm excited about this company. And this processor, it's small, ultra low power consuming, numerous applications like wearables, remote sensing, self-driving vehicles, for example, efficient, fast learning, real-time on-chip learning as well. If you want more information on Brainchip, they do have some videos. They've also released an investment presentation on the 21st of May. They've actually updated that presentation a few times. It's a much more professional presentation than I'm used to with Brainchip. And this company is still searching for a new CEO. They've been searching for a few months now. Hopefully, they get a new CEO who's able to help Brainchip transition from the research and development into production and sales. So I'm very excited about the potential of this company. Their ticker code is BRN, market cap 965 million, so around $1 billion. And this is where you get a lot of talk about Brainchip and how overvalued they are, especially when you consider the revenue for the trailing 12 months was $160,000, and they were burning through a lot of cash. A lot of people will say, well, this company is completely overvalued when you look at those numbers. But again, the market and most investors should be forward looking. These numbers do not represent where Brainchip could be in 5-10 years. We might see this company be considerably profitable by a massive amount, and a market cap of $1 billion might seem cheap. You just have to look at some companies on the Nasdaq and to see the growth of their companies and see the valuations. I did a video on Snowflake. They've grown revenue from 70 million, 90 million to $720 million in 3 years, and their market cap is like $60 billion. So you do have to pay for growth, and Brainchip could be a significantly growing company in the next 5 to 10 years. Their Appendix 4C was released on the 28th of April. Probably better to look at their presentation they did release on the 21st of May, and then look at all the updates they had to made. I think they were requested by the ASX to do that. When Brainchip released their first Appendix 4C on April the 28th, they forgot to include a consolidated statement of cash flows, so they had to update it. So I did find that actually quite funny, because I remember actually opening up the initial one and just thinking, well, where's the statement of cash flows? That's the most important thing about the Appendix 4C report. A lot of times you'll see companies release written activities, also an activities report, and then they have the financial report. Brainchip just decided to release the activities report, not the statement of cash flows, and then they had to send out an updated report. Anyway, I found that quite funny. I've not seen any other company do that. It's not negative against a company, but something they should keep in mind in the future, that they have to be a little bit more professional when it comes to those sort of things. Receipts from customers for the quarter, $1.1 million. That was, and this is all reported in US dollars, that was to expectations. They did sort of hint at this in January, that they were going to get that sort of receipts. And very important that right down the bottom is whether the company is operational cash flow positive or negative. You would expect Brainchip to be negative in their operations at this point in time, particularly with low receipts. So they were operational cash flow negative by $3.8 million. And we can see that they actually did grow cash in the quarter from 19.1 million to 20 million. And the reason they grew cash, even though they were operational cash flow positive, was because of the exercise of options. $3 million of options were exercised in the quarter. So that was the main reason they actually did grow cash during the March quarter. One thing I like to do with all companies who release an Appendix 4C is just look at the receipts history through time. Unfortunately, with Brainchip, we don't have much of a history here. This is really the first quarter we've seen any significant cash receipts. So the whole point of me doing this is for future reports in the next few years. I like to see 8 quarters, so 2 years of good cash receipts growth. And once we see that with Brainchip, we'll know this company is moving in the right direction. So we've got the first report here, but it might be quite lumpy over the next few years, but we just want to see an overall upwards trend in the receipts. So excited to see what happens with Brainchip's Appendix 4Cs over the next few years. Last thing I like to do in these Appendix 4C videos is look at 2 charts, the weekly chart and then finish on the daily chart. You can see how the sentiment is going just by looking at both charts. Weekly chart, nothing really happened with Brainchip. We did see a little bit of interest come into Brainchip towards about May, June 2019. We saw a bit of a spike in volume. So that was the first sign the market was really seeing something here. But really the share price didn't take off until just after the COVID-19 financial panic in May, June of 2020. That's when we saw the share price rally. In fact, around about August, September, towards October, the share price grew exponentially, and that actually is a warning sign. You don't want to see share price grow exponentially because it can't last, and usually you'll see a fairly significant sell-off, and that's exactly what we saw with Brainchip. In fact, when it did see that sell-off, the share price halved from 80 cents to 40 cents, and then share price went sideways for about 3 months. That's very healthy, and we've seen a resumption in the long-term uptrend. So the share price in Brainchip is showing a nice upwards trend. So maintain good volume as well. So nothing to dislike when you look at the weekly chart for Brainchip. The one thing I really like about the daily chart for Brainchip is the lack of volatility over the past 2 months or so. In fact, it's traded between about 65 and 55 cents during this period, maintain a nice looking uptrend as well. The reason I like the lack of volatility just means there's no day traders coming in trying to force the share price up or down. I do like that, and there's nothing to complain about the share price with Brainchip at this point in time. Nice sentiment, positive sentiment, nice upwards trend in the share price, not exponential growth. That's exactly what you want to see, a nice slow upwards trend. And this is telling me that the share price right now is real. The valuation of this company is real. There's no volatility. This is what the market is pricing this company because of the potential, the future potential this company has. It doesn't mean that future potential will be realized, but if it is realized, the valuation of this company will be significantly higher in the future. There's still, however, that risk that the company will crash and burn, but that's how the company or the market is pricing this company right now. That is all I have for this quick take Appendix 4C video for Brainchip. If you think I'm absolutely crazy for taking a position in this company, leave a comment. I'd love to hear your opinion. If you think I'm crazy for not going all in on Brainchip, make sure you leave a comment as well. I'm sure I'm going to get a wide range of opinions with this company. Seems like it's a fairly divisive company out there. You either think this company is the best or you think this company is the stupidest and the worst. I love to hear all opinions so I can, learn something new, hopefully. I'm not a financial advisor, so if you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's all for this video. Have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye.